Well, great second half. Felt really, really good. You don't have to be a brain surgeon to figure that out, but feels really, really good. Proud of our team. We had a stretch there where, in some ways it felt a little bit similar to a stretch we had later in the game against Illinois State, and I thought we really responded coming out of halftime. Somebody had asked me why we went in and had struggled. Well, we were turning the ball over like crazy and giving them leak-out layups, so high percentage shots. So I thought we did a great job in the second half, just handling pressure, really locked down defensively. You look at the stat sheet, and, again, a lot of career nights and just great nights from a lot of different kids who contributed, and this was a really big win for us at home.
What exactly did you say at halftime?
Probably the same stuff I said before the game. No, obviously they made the run there when we were just turning the ball over. We just weren't making good decisions. We weren't strong with it. We weren't executing. And I told them, if we're going to turn it over, throw it in the stand so we can at least get back and set our defense. But we were handing the ball and they were getting leak-out layups. Wide open layups, and a couple of them I think we even fouled them. So 3-point plays. So just not playing smart. I didn't think we were being aggressive. I didn't think we were. We just weren't handling the pressure well. We just talked about at halftime. In order to counter pressure, you got to attack it. And so that was, I told them, go out, be confident, attack pressure. We worked a lot yesterday on just our different looks and the counters out of it so the kids know. I think you saw some of them in the second half, but they just need to be confident and attack pressure. And I thought we did a really good job, and then did an awesome job on the boards. We got some great stops, defended without fouling, and kids were huge on the glass again. I don't know if I've been a part of a game that's had 62, where we've had 62 rebounds. That's unbelievable.
I was saying to the girls, just kind of going back, the history of how good it's been around here, and the post players it's been around here. Can't find any 62s. Just how special is that? We ask you about rebounding after almost every time we see you now, but that's a different level.
Yeah, you say it's special. It is, because that's been a huge ingredient for us when we've been winning games. And so I thought we've done a great job in recent games of cleaning up cleaning up the defensive end of the floor and just trying to be more disciplined without fouling, and just putting ourselves in a position where you get them to take tough shots and then go rebound. And you look at 4 kids. I think we had 4 kids with almost doubles tonight. I think Sid was short 2 rebounds. But that's amazing. That's really, really good. And I think it just continues to build their confidence.
Anaya's fun to watch on the court with the way she gets into things, but also, she's getting the job done. Just talk about her growth and what you're seeing from her right now.
She was unbelievable, and the exciting thing is I think she just keeps getting better and better. I think she's just playing really, really well right now. Some of those shots she's thrown in, I'm start to go, oh no, and then she knocks it down. And but I think you look at the minutes she's playing in a game like this with the style of play, that's really, really taxing. The way that she controlled the tempo, has the ball in her hands the majority of the time, often is guarding another team's best player. She's been unbelievable. I know she's exhausted after this. She played some huge minutes, but she's, I think, 2 rebounds away from a triple-double tonight. But she continues to just show her veteran leadership and her experience, and I think she's just gotten more and more comfortable in our system and understanding what we're trying to do and knowing where people are going to be. And she was unbelievable tonight.
What's that character like off the court? Because she seems like a character.
She's a great kid. She's awesome. She's always got a smile on her face. Just a joy to coach. Just a fun-loving kid, and she's like one of my kids' favorites. They like all of them, but it's like when she shows up, they start chanting, her name, and just a fun kid to be around, and just comes to work every day. Comes in and just has a great attitude, and has been really, really coachable. But she's been she's like a silent assassin, a silent leader for us. She just kind of lets her play do the talking. She's a quiet kid, but she started to be a little bit more vocal, and I think that's really helped us too.
How exciting is it to coach in this league? You've had through 4 games, not a single team undefeated. You had 6 teams tied at 3-1. going into tonight. I mean, just talk about this Missouri Valley Conference.
We know from afar, always knew how good the conference was, year in and year out, and you have multiple teams going to the postseason, and always seems to be somewhat of a heated race, even though, there's been some teams that have dominated. It seems like, there's been some really, really good teams. And, I think this year you look at some of the turnover, there's a lot of rosters that have changed due to, transfers, the influx of transfers and whatnot. I just think it's another really exciting year. It's another great league. I think you look at the scores across the board, and you really don't want your kids to compare scores, because any night, like really anybody can win. I think you look at tonight and some of the scores that have come across. I mean, it's just going to be an exciting race all the way to the end, and we just have to stay focused on task at hand. One game at a time, and control what we can control. You can't control anything else, and just really stay focused. There's a lot of basketball left. There's a lot of games left to play, and we know we have a really tough stretch coming up. So next biggest game on the schedule, or the biggest game on the schedule, is the next one. So we just have to stay focused on task at hand.
Where have you seen that growth in Jade the most, going for double-double tonight, first time in her career?
Yeah, I think the more she's out there, the more comfortable she gets. I think the tough thing with Jade is she's had a couple of things here or there that's limited her practice time, whether it was out of Christmas break, she got sick, or, sprained her ankle a little bit earlier, had some concussion protocols, different things like that. So I feel like it's just been tough for her, because she just hasn't been able to have a stretch where she can just play. We just need her healthy. And, it's just been more nagging type of things. And so I think she's gotten in a good rhythm in the last few games, just being in practice every day and being able to get out there. And, she just needs reps. She's young, needs experience. But I think as you watch the game goes on, she continues to just get more comfortable out there. So I think that's probably the biggest thing for her. And I think this is a big building block for her today.
Going back to coming out of the halftime, I think you guys went on it may have been a 12-0 stretch, 10-0 stretch, something like that. Can you talk about just what fired them up? I mean, it looked like a totally different team coming out. Your high-low game really opened up, and some of those pathways just really opened up in that second half.
Yeah, I don't know necessarily what really changed. People always say, well, if it was so great at halftime, why didn't you tell them the same thing before the game? I said a lot of the same stuff before the game, but we just weren't executing the way we needed to execute, really, either end of the floor, and the turnovers were killing us. So I think our kids knew that. Obviously, we had given them a run into halftime that was, you have to give them credit, but it was kind of on what we were doing, our lack of execution. And I think our kids felt like we're better than that. And so, we just talked about being confident and going out and sending a message right away, right out of halftime, just playing with a lot of energy and coming out and really forcing the tide to turn. And I thought our kids did that. We got some stops, we got some rebounds, could get out and push transition. Anaya got in the open floor and was able to make a little bit. So I don't know what was really different per se, but certainly it was a great second half.
You guys came away with 38 defensive rebounds, and that's
it's pretty amazing. Yeah, we did a great job on the glass.
Turnovers were a big problem for you guys early on, and in that first half today. It's gotten better in recent games. You had 4 there in the second half today. What's been working to where you guys have been taking care of the ball better?
Yeah, I think we've done a lot better job taking care of the ball. I think this was a big test for us, because if you look at some of the teams early in the season where our turnovers were high, a little bit of it was decisions, but just not handling pressure. And so, I think this is probably the most pressure I knew that we would have seen maybe since I'd have to think back, maybe Little Rock even. But, I felt like this was going to be a big test for us, because we hadn't seen this style in recent games. Similar styles, but not the kind of pressure that we knew they were going to put on us. So I think this was a huge step for us in the right direction of just being able to handle it better and be more comfortable. But we've had games earlier in the year where we had to learn some tough lessons too.
I think the players said they want to do more passing drills.
I'm sure they did. Which ones specifically? Which drills?
Coach, on the road for 3 more games after this, you guys have won 7 of your last 8. We talked about some of the players kind of hitting their stride right now. A couple double-doubles, 1 away from getting a triple-double. What do you like about where this team is at right now in early January?
Well, I think I feel like we've been playing our best basketball, and we're trending upward. I mean, even, that's what was so disappointing about the Illinois State game. I felt like most of the game that we did some really, really good things. There was just a stretch there where we didn't take the game and they did, and so we come up short end of the stick. But I think we're continuing to get better. I still think we have our best days ahead of us. So I just like the upward trend of kids starting to figure things out a little bit more, things starting to click, them be more comfortable just with what we're doing and being able to go out and execute, on both ends of the floor. So, even though we had some really good performances and I still feel like we're going to get a lot better than we are right now.